Okay. So let's have a quick recap what we have discussed in the last session. In the last session, we have discussed about how we can create our AWS account and how we can create our Windows EC2. This is what we have discussed in our previous session. In today's session, we are going to start with the Linux EC2. But before starting of this particular topic, any question anyone have, you can please raise your hand. Any question anyone has? Look like no one has any questions. So we'll start with our topic. Just open my PPT. It's a notepad file. Okay. So first of all, let me log into my this is Azure account. I'm able to log into my account. Now I'm switching to Mumbai. Now we'll learn about how we can create our Linux EC2. Process is completely same. The process which we have followed in our previous session, the same process we are going to follow to create our Linux EC2. The same process will follow. There is no change in process. Little bit of changes we need to do as per our operating system. Here we have recently visited service called EC2. Click on instance. Click on launch. If you see here in previous session, we have created one Windows machine with the name something called Windows 132. After that, what we have done, we have terminated the machine. I told you after termination, after a few minutes, that machine is completely going to remove from your AWS console. And we are not able to see that particular machine. Why? Because we have terminated. So once you terminate your machine, after a few minutes, that is going to completely remove from your console. Now I'm going to launch a new Linux-based EC2 machine. Now we have given the name. Scroll down. Here we are getting here. And by default, they are giving which EMI to us. They are showing us Amazon Linux. And I'm also going to use Amazon Linux. Scroll down. Here we have an instance type called E2. We have already discussed in previous session. T2 micro is coming under free tier. So we also need to use T2.micro. And under T2.micro, we are getting its CPU and RAM. How much? One CPU and one CPU of RAM. Yes, we have used. Scroll down. Now we need to go with keep here. We have discussed in previous session, keep here is something like a password to us. Can I use an existing keep here, the one which we have created in previous session? Yes, if I want to use, I can use existing keep here also. The same one right now I can use with Windows also, even I can use with Linux also. But I'm not going to use, I'm going to create a, so click on create new keep here. I'm giving this name to my key. Scroll down, create key. Done. Here we are getting that particular key, and I'm storing this particular key in our one. Scroll down. These settings, we are not disturbing anything. These things we are going as it is for right now. In our upcoming session regarding these things, we'll discuss in session. Now, if you remember in previous session, we have discussed it. Connect any Windows machine, it is mandatory to enable a port number called RDP. Same way, if you want to connect any Linux machine, for Linux machine, it is mandatory to enable a port number called SSH. Without enabling of this particular port number, it is impossible to connect to that particular. Anyone in the chat box can please let me know what is the number of that port number SSH. Like for RDP, we have a port number 3389. Same way for SSH also we have one number. All right, whatever the answers I got till now, okay, most of the answers are correct. You are incorrect also. The correct answer is 20. Like for RDP, we have a port number 3389. For SSH, we have a port number called. In previous session, we have created a security group with the name called Launch Wizard 6. And today they are giving by default name as Launch Wizard 7. These are the default names we are getting to our security. Can I give my own name? Yes, it is possible. How we can give our own name? We need to edit our network settings. So edit, scroll down, give the name here. You can see here we are able to see Launch Wizard 7. So I'm giving my name here. Name can be any name. You can give to your security. Now, scroll down. See here, SSH port. SSH port is required to connect to our machine with our terminals. And here is the port number 20. Scroll down. Here we are getting how much storage? 8GB. And it is by default, we are getting it from AWS. It means the minimum 8GB is required to create any Linux EC2. For Windows 1, minimum they are providing us 30GB. For Linux, they are providing 8GB. And here we have something called advanced. Regarding the advanced details, I have already told you we are going to discuss in our coming session. Let's have again quick recap. We have given the name to our EC2 machine. We have selected our AMI. We have selected our instance type as by default t2.micro. We have created our new key pair. It means this is going to be password for our. And then we have enabled a port number called SSH. If you see here, we have a lot of port numbers we are getting. Don't worry, guys. Regarding few port numbers, we'll discuss in upcoming session. You guys are sending me question in the chat bar. What is the difference between HTTP, SSH? Don't worry. We'll discuss regarding HTTP port number in upcoming session. I'm practically going to explain you about HTTP port numbers. So here we are getting 8 GB as hard disk. And how many machines we require? Right now, we require only one single machine. If you need more than one machine, you can give here also like 2, 3, 4, 10, whatever you require, you can mention. But I don't require this much of machine. I just require only one single. Here also we can see the AMI which we are using, the instance type. We are creating a new security group and we are getting a storage of 8. And then click on launch. Done. So we have created our Linux EC2. Done. We are able to create our Linux EC2. And whatever the steps I have followed, all the steps are mentioned in my PPT. And you can see here, there is a note I have given. For Windows, RDP port needs to be enabled. For Linux, SSH port needs to be. Done. So we are able to create our. After creation of this machine, what is the next step? We need to connect to that particular machine. But before connecting to this machine, any question anyone have regarding the creation of this particular machine, you can please raise your hand. Or any question you want to ask, you need to raise your hand to ask your question. Yes, Bharat, you can.
So for RDP, in Windows we call it as RDP, in Linux we call it as SSH. Is my understanding correct?
No, that is port number. That is port number. For Linux, we need to enable SSH port number. For RDP, sorry, for Windows, we need to enable RDP port.
Achha, in Windows, we need to enable RDP. Okay, got it.
That is ports, yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks.
Yes, Mona, you can.
So you mentioned about the key pair, like we can use the already existing key pair, right?
Yes, if you want, you can use existing one also, or you can create a new one also.
Okay, so in that, so existing as in only if the EC2 is being suspended, only then we can use the same key pair, or even if the EC2 is existing, we can use the same key pair.
We can use also, even if a machine is running, we can ask also. We can use existing key pair also.
Okay, so will that not be any sort of a problem when you're trying to connect to?
No.
Okay.
Right now there is no. In our upcoming session, yes, you will understand why I'm saying yes right now. Till that time, whatever we are learning, you can use it, right? Okay, because I can't explain each and everything right now. If I'm explaining, you guys will get confused. So yes, it is possible till now. Okay. Yes, Ganesh.
Hello, Ankit. Good evening. In
Good
the
evening.
instant type, you have shown us T2 micro. There is any other different types available? Or
Yes,
this? Okay. Yeah, that is my
but
question.
free one is only T2.micro. Other than that, if you are going to use any other type, you will get a
Okay.
bill for that.
Okay. But in case of a production environment, if the customer is, the client is having a subscribed different things that I then it can be a, I can use a different one. Yes.
Yeah, definitely in real time, we are going to go with the bigger one,
Yeah, yeah, correct.
not
Yeah.
with the small one, because there is 1 GB of RAM, 1 CPU we are getting it. So definitely in real time, it does not get
Okay.
sufficient for us.
Okay. Okay. Clear.
Okay.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
one more
Yeah.
thing, Ganesh.
Yes.
Let's take example right now. I have choose 1 GB of RAM and 1 CPU. But
Yeah.
definitely in future, let's say example, our requirement is getting more. So we can increase also.
Okay.
How to do that? Would that also we learn enough?
Okay. Okay. So this T2 micro has also a correlation with the RAM as well.
Yes, correct.
Okay. 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 Clear.
But right, let's say whenever a client is start using it, they're always using with minimum requirement.
That's true.
Slowly, when their requirement are getting increased, they increase it. Because
Yeah.
whenever they're increasing CPU and RAM, their bill is also going to be increased.
Yeah. Based on the payload, I mean the load of the server.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
They increase also.
Yeah. Yeah. Correct. Thank you. Thank
Okay.
you. Yeah.
Yes, Vamsi.
Hi, sir. Actually, I want to know about how we will get the ID, like SSH port number is 22 and
These are default port numbers, Vamsi.
is it default code?
Yes, these are the default port numbers.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, that's it. Thank you.
Yes, Pavan.
Ankit, I have two questions. The first one is, when you are creating multiple instances, what is the name of the EC2 that will be given?
It's whatever the name you are mentioning it in the top, that will be the name of your EC2 machine, names for all.
Okay, for all the machine, the name will be
Name
same?
will be same, yes.
Okay.
If you want to change after that, you
Understood.
can change. You can click on this option, edit name, you can edit also.
Great, thank you. The second question is, if I have to upgrade the RAM, does it need a reboot?
We'll discuss in upcoming session regarding that.
Sure, thank you. That's all.
At the topic we have it, it's a very important topic, the question you asked.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so those have raised their hand. Guys, you don't need to lower down your hands. I'll come back to you after a few minutes. Let's learn about how we can connect to our machine. To connect to our Windows machine, we have used an option called remote desktop connection. And in Windows machine, we are getting by default this. To connect to our Linux machine, also we need some tool. Which tool we require? We are downloading a tool called Put is a terminal. With the help of this one, I can connect to my. To connect to my machine, I'm going to download also one more tool. Name called Puttigen. What is the use of Puttigen? We'll discuss also. So first, download. Here I have given the website link from where you can download. Or even if you search on Google, download Putty, you will get this particular website in number 2. From there, you can download and Puttigen both you can download from the same website. So I've opened that particular website, scroll down. Here I'm getting putty.exe. As per your system requirement, just click on putty.exe. When you click on that, system is downloading our file. Now, then scroll down. Here I'm getting puttigen.exe. As per a system requirement, just click on exe. System is downloading that particular exe file. In our Windows machine, whenever we are downloading the exe file, what we are doing it to use those files, we are installing. But we don't need to install these putty and putty. There is no option of installation. So if I want to use, how can I use this now? Just double click on that particular tool. Will get open and we can use that particular. You can double click on putty also. This is how you can use these tools. You don't need to install, and these are completely free tools. And why I'm using putty? In market, guys, there are hundreds of terminal service provider we have. If you want to use, you can use those also. But why I'm using putty? Because if I talk about in the market, putty is the number one we have. And second one is Getish. These are the two most popular terminals we have in the market, which is help us to connect our Linux. First, I'm showing you for putty, then I'll show you how we can connect with our Git bash. So to connect to our machine, the first thing what I need to do is I need to generate PPK file. If you see here, we have downloaded PEM file. This PEM file we have. And I tell you one thing, putty does not support PEM file. In putty, there is no option I can select a PEM file. What we can do, we need to convert this particular PEM file into a PPK file. How we can convert? With the help of tool called putty. So please see this very carefully, because if you are going to do any mistake, then you will get a wrong key and you are not able to connect. And PEM is the key pair. The exchange, the file which we have downloaded from our key pair, the file extension is .pem. So now I'm going to open PPK. Here I mentioned generate PPK using. Click on load. When I click on load, we need to select our PEM file. And I am in right now batch 129. I'm changing it to 130. You can see here, we are not able to see our PEM file. Why we are not able to see PEM file? Because here it is looking for a PPK file. So it means we need to change this extension to all files. And then I'm selecting the PEM. Click on save private. If you see here, there are a lot of buttons also. We have generate, save private key. We have a lot of options. Don't click anywhere. If you are going to click anywhere, you are getting a wrong PPK file and you are not able to come. So you need to only click on two buttons. First, click on load to load your PEM file. And then you need to click on save private. If you click anywhere, you will get a wrong PPK file, which cloud platform is not supporting. And then you are not able to connect to your, and click on save private key. Yes. Give the name of your key. Key name can be any name. I am giving it same as my PEM file name. So it will be easy for me to recognize the PPK file which I have generated. It is for that same PEM. Here we have generated our. Do you want me to repeat this particular step again? If you want, you can please confirm in the chat box. How to generate PEM to PPK, because this is important step. I'm again saying important step. If you're doing mistake, you are not able to connect to your Linux. Okay. I'm deleting this PPK file. Double click on puttygen. Click on load. Select your PEM file by changing the extension here. Click on open. Once you click on open, click on save private. Click on yes. And now give the name to your PPK file. We have given the name as Linux-132-key and extension is .pp. Here I am giving. Click on save. And here we are getting that particular PPK. Done. So here we are getting that particular PPK. Next step. Next step is we need to connect to our machine. Select your EC2 machine and click on connect. When I click on connect, here we have multiple tabs. We need to go to a tab called SSH client. Next step. If you see here in the below, we have something called example. In this example, here you are able to see EC2-user @ our URL which we are getting. Just copy this particular URL. Then we have note down our. What is this? This is called as host name. The URL which we have note down, this particular URL is called as host name, and because of this particular URL, we can connect to our. Now open. Double click on Putty. In the above, it is asking for host name or IP address. I'm entering our host name. Next step, attach PPK file with Putty. How we can attach? Please see this very carefully. How I'm going to attach that PPK file with. First of all, you need to click on plus button for SSH. Next step, you need to click on plus button for auth. Authentication full form is. Then again, we are getting two more options. You need to click on credentials. First, you need to click on plus button for SSH, then click on plus button for auth, and then click on credentials. And once you click on credentials, here you are getting an option to select your PPK file. .129 batch, switching to 132. Here I am. Open, accept, and you can see here we are able to connect to our Linux. So this is how we can connect to our Linux. Now, any question anyone have regarding the connecting part? You can please. Yes, Sunant, you can unmute.
Sorry, Ankit, it was not related to the connectivity. While creating the instance, we had one is the all generations. Are we going to cover that as part of the upcoming session?
No, we don't require it.
Okay. And my second question is, while generating the key, we have selected the default one, the RSA was being selected, and we can see the other option. And what could be the scenario where we would need to go for the
That
other
option is the newly option given by the AWS. Even I'm not aware of that. Just few months before they have given that option. I didn't work on that particular option. I'm not
Okay.
aware of that where it can be used.
Fine, Ankit. Yeah, I'm good. Thank you.
Yes, Harish. Yes, Harish Mani, you can ask your question.
Once we created the Linux instance, can you log in using that IP address?
Yes, you can use by using IP address also. I'll show you that next example. I'll show you that also.
Okay, okay.
Okay. Any more questions?
No.
Okay. Yes, Sheikh, you can.
Just one simple question. Actually, in the steps you have written that note down the host name. So I'm not sure what from where to means like that we can to connect we can create it. Okay, okay.
No, we
From
are
here.
not creating it here. I'm doing. Once you're, let me show you again. Select your EC2 machine. Click on connect. Go to SSH client. Here you need to copy this.
Okay.
This one you need to copy.
Okay.
And if you see here in that particular command, the first thing what it is mentioned, EC2-user. What is this EC2-user? EC2- is the username. You can see
What we
here
create, what we
by
create.
default. No, we didn't create user. We have created only machine. This is a by default username. We are getting it from AWS. And we are getting this EC2 user for our Amazon Linux machine. Okay.
Okay.
Any more questions?
Yes, that is not changeable over like that.
No, these are default user. Default user we can't change. We can create more users, but default user we can't change. Okay. Check. Is it clear?
Yeah, it's clear.
Okay. Yes, Ganesh.
Hello, Ankit. Today is my first session, so I did not be present the previous one. So my question is why we need this PEM file or PPK file, but the steps are clear for me, but why we need this? It's a kind of an
It's like a
authentication.
password.
Password,
Yes,
yeah,
it's
okay,
like a
okay.
password to us to connect to our machine. That
Okay.
like if I want to connect to my laptop, we have
Hmm.
set some password to connect. Like whenever we try to open our mobile phone, we have given
Okay.
some fingerprint or password something. So
Yeah,
this is the password for us.
okay. But this is we defining this password by ourselves or the admin is defining and sharing to the end user how this is
No,
happening.
we are the one who is going to create the machine, and based on that, it is going to be
Okay.
the password.
Okay, okay. Clear. Thank you.
Okay. Yes, Suresh.
Hi, Ankit. So, if I create, if my instances are running and I want to trigger an email for every 24 hours on the status of my instances, if it's up and running or
You can create alarm for that.
it's
We have an
possible, right?
option of alarm. We have option. I'll show you the alarm options in upcoming.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
Okay, so those have raised hand, guys. Just wait. I'll come back to you. Let's move forward. Now, right now, I have shown you that we are connecting our machine by using the host name. Just now, the person had asked me, can we connect to our machine by using IP address also? Yes, we can connect to our machine by using IP addresses. So now let me show you how we can connect to our particular machine by using IP. To connect to this machine by using IP address, what I'm going to do is I'm selecting that particular machine again. Click on connect. And once I click on connect, we have a one tab called EC2 instance connect. Here I'm able to see the public IP. And here we are able to see our username, a default user. So I'm just going to note down the public. I'm entering the public ID. Second step, patching PPK file. Open, accept. Now you can see here it is not by default get logged. Because in previous example, we have entered a host name, and under our host name, by default, our username. That is why it is automatically connected. And right now I'm just using the IP address of it. It is not going to automatically connect. We need to enter our username. And we are using Amazon Linux based operating system. And for Amazon Linux, we have a default username, ec2-user, and you can see here, we are able to connect to our Linux. This is how you can connect your machine by using public IP. So you can connect by using host name or IP address. There is no difference. You can connect with both the options. Yes, we need. You can unmute.
Yeah, hi sir. My question is that after creating the Linux machine, so can we do just like our window machine, like we install all software, all the things here?
Yes, you can do that also.
Just I want to install like Jenkins and all the things.
Yes, you can. You can install anything, whichever you want to do that. Make sure you are not going to install a big software because you have just only a 8 GB of storage.
Okay.
But that you can do. If you want to install bigger, then you can increase your storage size.
Can we access this Linux machine on web page?
Graphical user interface you're talking about?
Yes.
Not possible.
Okay.
That is not possible.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, Shiva.
Yeah, hi Ankit, good evening, Shiva
Good
here.
evening. Yes, Shiva.
Yeah, Ankit, so while building this server, we have selected that image name as the RHL, right? Red Hat.
No, we have used Amazon Linux.
Amazon Linux. So in the similar way, we can select this Red Hat also, right?
Whatever we are getting it, here we are getting, we can see here, just a minute.
Okay.
We have used EMI.
EMI, yeah, so the EMI, like can we use
Yes.
Red Hat?
Here we have an option called EMI catalog. In this one, EMI catalog, you can see all the EMI. We have Red Hat also in AWS. We have Ubuntu also. We have Debian also. We have it. Lot of EMIs you will find. While practice, you can select any EMI whichever you see. Here I'm getting Amazon Linux, Mac also we are getting, and even we have an option of search. You can see here. I got it.
Okay. So Red Hat Enterprise
But Red
Linux
Hat is
9.
not coming under free tier eligible. This one is not coming. The above version is coming under free tier.
Red Hat, okay. So, okay, the enterprise version is not coming as a free version.
No, this one is enterprise.
Okay, this is not free?
This one is free. This is free. See, it is
free.
mentioned.
Okay. Yeah.
Other one
So
is
this
not
will
free.
be okay. So in the similar way, like, is there a way to select particular version? Let's assume it is showing as a version 9, right? Can I go with version 8 or 7.9?
It is there in that, if is there in that AWS, then you can select. If it's not there, then it is not possible.
Okay. So and one more question is that, like, is there a way to upload our customized image? Let's assume I have an Linux image which is customized according to my requirement. And can I upload that into the AWS
You can
portal
migrate.
somewhere?
You have an option of migrate. With the help of migration, we can create our own EMI also. The question which you're asking is a very good question, that is possible with the help of CLI in AWS, and that particular thing which you're asking, you are going to learn in the PPT number 9.
Oh, it's already covered. Okay, thank you very much. That's all.
The PPT number 90, the migration part, it can be possible with that.
Okay, right. Anyway, we'll be covering this, right? So that's
yes.
Right. Thank you.
Okay. Yes, Pawan.
Okay, Ankit, we try to save the private key. Instead, when we are trying to use the putty and log in as an SSH, it was showing that accepting the public key.
Not a very public. Just a minute. Let me open putty.
Sure.
Here it is mentioned public private key.
Yeah, here we are uploading the private key, right?
See here what it is mentioned.
Yeah, after connecting, it was showing as public key on the
private key in that console, but here it is asking for private key. PEM, because in the end they required a PEM file, and with the help of PEM file we are not able to create because we are using putty. So we need to use PPK.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay. Now, next thing. After creation of our machine, I don't require this machine anymore. So what should we do here? If I don't want this particular machine, what we can do is we can terminate this particular machine. If you want to use the same machine again, you can stop the machine also, and then you can start this particular. But I don't require this machine anymore. So I'm going to select this particular machine. I'm going with instance state. Here we have an option of terminate and click on. So it means we are going to delete this particular machine from our AWS. So this is how we can terminate our machine. And might be while practice, if you are getting any of the error message from these two, if you get timeout error message, or if you are getting no supported authentication method available error, then here I have already given their solutions also. You don't need to contact me for these error message. I have already given the solution. If you get error message, you can check these links, which is mentioned in my PPT, and then with the help of this one, you can easily resolve your issue by yourself. But still, after that, if you are not able to resolve your issue, then you can contact. Already the solution is given. Yes, Sheikh, you can unmute.
Yeah, actually, it's a question related to one question which was asked by somebody. Somebody asked that can we install Jenkins and all, etc. Okay. So yeah. So obviously, you explained that it's dependent on the RAM size. Now, suppose
I said that it is possible, but I said that don't install a software which is bigger because higher it because you don't have it that much of space. If you want, you can increase the RAM or you can increase the hard disk size, then you can install that also.
Okay, true. For example, if I want to install WebSphere, then obviously I'll have to take a high configuration. Right?
Yes.
Okay, that's it. Fine, thanks.
Okay. Yes, Lakshmi. Yes, Lakshmi Narayan, you can unmute yourself.
Yeah, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Narayan from Mumbai. I have one query that if we created a machine in Linux here, if you want to migrate this Linux server to another cloud, is it possible?
Another cloud, it is not possible. Another region is possible with the help of AMI option, but another cloud is not possible.
Like
that can be, might be, you need to contact AWS, then in that case, they are going to help you. We don't have any service that we can do.
No, if we have VMware server, right, ESX, and we want to move to on-premise, is it possible?
You need to contact AWS, Lakshmi, because in AWS we don't have any service. In AWS we don't have service that we can do that. And nowadays no one is switching to cloud to on-premises. On-premises to cloud, I have listened it. That is possible, but cloud to on-premises, I didn't listen that it can be possible or not. Even I'm not sure it is possible or not. Okay. I'm first time listening from you in my 10 years of career.
Okay. No. Sometimes what happened, the customer migrate to cloud, and due to some reason they want to again come back to their on-premises.
I'm not sure that it is possible or not. I'm not sure about that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Hmm.
On premises to cloud, I'm 110% sure it is
Yeah,
possible,
that much I know.
but I'm not sure it is possible or not.
But sometimes customers they do the fail. We want to the fail back again. So that's why
No,
I asked the
sorry.
question.
Sorry, I
Okay.
don't have any answer of this question.
Okay.
Yes, Vineet.
Yeah, so during login with the putty, so we use just like IP address and key. So can we use here username and password? Can we use here?
No, you definitely to connect to that machine need IP address.
Yes.
To which machine you need to connect, how system is going to information. The
Okay.
IP address is required.
Yes. And what about password?
Password is our PPK file.
Okay, so PPK file is mandatory. So there is any way
If you want to get a password option only, you don't want to use PPK file.
Okay.
It is possible. After that, you can do changes in your EC2 machine. How to do that, you will understand in upcoming session.
Okay, understand.
I'm going to show you that also, because for this one, we have to change some settings in our Linux machine.
Okay.
Okay. We'll show you in upcoming session.
Yes, here. Thank you.
Yes, Amir.
Yeah, Ankit, actually I joined late. I want to know if someone is using a Mac, then how they can create EC2, because for Mac it is not free, right?
No. No, you want to create a Mac EC2 machine, or you want to create a Linux EC2 machine?
No, like if I'm using Mac and I want to like create in Mac only, so for that I need to pay, right?
Definitely, because Mac EC2 machines are not free.
So
Because
if
it is
I'm
not
using
coming
Mac,
up.
so how I can
No,
practice?
you can create a Linux EC2 machine.
Okay, okay.
I'm using a Windows machine and I'm creating a Linux EC2 machine.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Same process you can follow. Even in that one, you can create a Windows machine also, Amir.
And I
You're
can use
working
that
on
Windows.
cloud. You're not working on your local machine, Amir. You're
Okay.
working on cloud platform. So in cloud platform, you can create anything. You can
So
create a Linux machine also, Windows machine also.
Okay, so I can run that Windows machine from my Mac if I want to.
Yes, you just need to get that remote desktop connection in your machine. And in Mac, you are not getting it by default. You want to download from your store, that Mac store, whichever you have.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, thanks. So there's some step to download that, like to how to connect to the machine, or I can directly
Process is same.
Okay.
Even to connect your Linux machine in your Mac, you have your default terminal. You can use default terminal also.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Now we are going to discuss about one more option that we can directly create a PPK file by using AWS account. Right now we have converted PEM into PPK, but in AWS we have an option. I am not going to create a PEM file. I'm directly going to create a PPK file by using my AWS account. But the option which I'm going to show you, this particular option is just for your knowledge purpose. In our upcoming session, we are not going to generate a PPK file directly from our AWS account. And even in real time also, we are not using this option. But we have an option. You just need to know this option just because of your interview. Because might be sometime they ask you this question in the interview, that can we generate a PPK file by using AWS account? Yes. But why we are not going to use this particular option in our upcoming session? The answer is, in some cases, to connect one machine to another machine, you need a PEM file. In that particular case, your PPK file will not use. You need a PEM file. Where to use a PEM file, you will understand in upcoming session when we are learning about some other topics. I'm practically going to show you where I'm going to use this particular. I can directly create a PPK file while creating my EC2 machine also. Or can I create this key before creation of my EC2 machine? Yes, I can do that also. How can I do that? Go to network and security. Go to You will see all the key pairs whichever I have created in my AWS account. Total 30 key pairs I have created. And for this particular batch, I have created 2 key pairs. I am able to see those key. And here on the right hand side, we have an option of create. Give the name of our key pair. Scroll down. Earlier we have used PEM option. Now we are using PPK. And you can see here, this clearly mentioned for use with put. PPK is only used with putty terminal, not with any other term. Create. When I click on create key pair, here I am getting that particular PPK. Now I can create an EC2 machine by using this. It is not mandatory everything you need to create while creating a machine. In real time, what we are doing it before creation of our machines, we create these things whichever like security group we require, we'll create key pair. Because whenever we are going to create machine, we know that what things we require. So I'm going to click on launch instance. And I'm giving the same name to my machine. Scroll down. Amazon Linux, instance type T2 micro. Now here we have key pair. We are able to see the key pair, the one which we have created. Scroll down. Again, system is enabling a SSH. Can I use an existing security group, the one which we have created in last example? So select existing security group. And here we are. If you want to check what are the ports enabled in this particular security group, you can click on compare security. Here you can see. SSH port is scroll down. Here we are getting by default 8 GB. How many machines are required? Our AMI instance type. And you can see here, now it is showing me the security group. In previous 2 examples where we have created Windows and Linux machine, it is showing us new security. Because at that time we are creating a new security. But this time we are selecting an existing one, it is showing us that particular security. Click on launch instance. So we have created our machine with the help of PPK. Now I'm trying to connect to this machine again. I don't need to every time go to connect option to get the IP address. I'm getting the IP address from here also. And I'm using again Amazon Linux. And we have discussed it for Amazon Linux. Their default username is EC2-. So I'm going to open putty, enter the public IP, attaching a PPK file. Where is the PPK file? Open, accept, enter our user. And we are able to connect to our machine. So this is how we can connect to our machine using PPK file, and we can directly generate a PPK file by using AWS. And again, I'm saying the option which I have shown you just for your knowledge purpose. In our upcoming session in real time, we are not using this option because in some cases we need template. That is why we are not going to use this option. So this is how we can create a PPK file by using our AWS account. Now, any question anyone have regarding this? You can please raise your hand. I'm requesting you, please don't send your questions in the chat box. It is not possible for me to consider your questions and all these things. I can focus only on one thing at a time. So if you have any question, please raise your hand and ask your questions. Yes, Suresh.
So is there any wizard kind of thing or any service that is available to directly migrate on-premise to cloud?
Yes, we have some AWS services like all application migration services, database migration services we have.
Okay.
Okay. So that it can be possible, it can migrate.
Okay. So I don't need to individually configure again.
No.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Yes, Pavan.
So Ankit, we are selecting Windows or Linux or AMI settings, security settings, and then security group settings, all those things, right? Can we save all these things to a template and
yes,
that is
correct.
an image?
Yes, it is possible. We can do that also. I'll show you in upcoming session. That is called as launch template. Here on the left hand side, you are able to see that launch template.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay. Yes, Ganesh.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, Ganesh.
Okay, so could you please quickly show me one more time to generate the PPK using the AWS account? I lost it in the beginning. Sorry.
So first of all, you need to go to key pairs. Okay, under network and security.
Okay, under network.
You need to click on create key pair. Just give the name of your key pair. Select type as .ppk.
Okay.
And click on create. Automatically, system is going to download that PPK file, and you can store that PPK file in your.
Okay, it's under network and security.
Yes, under network and security, you are getting an option of EPS.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. And here you are able to see the option called security groups also, guys. The security group which we have created, we can see here also.
Those existing Linux 1.3.
See, the one which we have created today. We are able to see. Even the one which we have created in yesterday's session also with the name launch wizard 6. We can see that also somewhere here. Okay, Ganesh?
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, Fayaz, you can.
Hi, Kate. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, quickly, like the instance will be default allocated with the public IP. Is that mean I can access this instance using the public IP anywhere using PuTTY?
Yes, but if whatever you have mentioned in your security group, based on that, you can connect to your machine, because while creating the security group, we have given as anywhere. It means I can connect from anywhere. If we have one more option called custom. Under custom, I can specific mention the IP address. I can connect to this particular machine only from that IP address. Or we have a third option, my IP. So I can give my IP there. So I can connect to that particular machine only from my IP. That's not from any other IP.
Okay. At the time of instance creation, I had to select that.
Even we can do changes in our security group after that also.
Okay.
Okay.
I hope we'll be covering in the subsequent
Definitely, yes. We'll discuss it. That's a very important thing, because definitely if you are in real time, we are not giving the public access for SSL.
Yeah.
Only
Great.
for web servers we are giving it, but not for the connectivity of them. So we'll discuss that particular point.
Okay, fine. Sure. Thank you.
Yes, Manish.
Yeah. So Ankit, actually, I have two questions.
Please go one by one, Manish.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So actually, first question is, so you said, I mean, we can create the PPK file, and second option is we can also create the PEM file. So is it possible we can have both these files for single instance?
You can only use one at a time because there is an option of only use one. Not we can use not multiple.
Okay. And suppose suppose after some days I need to change this file.
Okay, that is not possible.
Okay, that is
That
tied
is not
one time.
That is not possible. Only one time. But now I'll tell you one more thing. For let's say example, for default user, you are getting that particular PEM file. But you can do one thing here, Manish. You can create more users because in previous session we have discussed, in our upcoming session we learn about more user creation.
Correct.
In our Linux. So let's take example. Right now I have a default username EC2-user. Net. This is my one. This is my user. For this one, I have selected a key pair name called ABC. Let's take example.
Okay.
I create one more user with the name called Ankit. If I want, I can select a same key pair, or I can create a separate PEM file, and that particular PEM file also I can link with this particular user name called Ankit. But the machine will be the same machine, not the separate. In the same machine, I can do like this.
Okay.
But for one single user, I can link only one PEM.
Okay. So when you will log in from Ankit user, so it should use only XYZ PEM file.
Correct.
And not the ABC one.
No.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. And my second question is, maybe that is very much generic. So see, yeah. So see, currently we have, lots of, SaaS-based application, right? So yeah. So I'm assuming it is, deployed in some cloud infrastructure, right? And having some virtual machines associated with it. Right. So suppose that SaaS application is getting used by multiple clients, 10 clients or 100 clients.
Whatever it is.
Yeah. So internally, I just wanted to know whether they are accessing in this same virtual machine, or they are, they are created multiple machines and or they are grouped in some way.
So let's say you are talking about one single client, or you're talking multiple clients. You're talking
multiple clients using the same application.
Same application they are using. So is the service provider is something else, or they have their own servers? Might be they are using, Manish.
Okay, consider Netflix example. Okay, Netflix is an application. It is getting used by multiple users.
Correct.
Okay, maybe yeah. So internally they're using the only one application, or they are using the multiple application, and they
services you're talking about AWS services?
No. I'm just suppose if I'm as an end user accessing the Netflix application, and you also accessing the Netflix application.
Okay.
Okay. So internally they're using the same virtual machine or different virtual machines?
It can be possible. It depends on the load, Manish. We have something called load balancer.
Okay.
With the help of load balancer, it is dividing our traffic to multiple EC2 machines. Might be when you are logged in with Netflix, you will go to A but EC2 machine. When I log in, I will go to D EC2 machine. It can be possible. So they are dividing the load to multiple EC2 machine with the help of an option called load balancer.
Got it.
Okay, you will understand this particular thing in upcoming session. I'm going to show you that.
Sure. Thanks. Yeah.
Yes, Ramakrishna.
Hi, Ankit.
Hi.
Yeah, if we create a PPK file from the same PEM file multiple times, will PPK file will be the same?
Same, always same. If you create one time or 1,000 times, it always the same.
Okay. One more question I have. While creating the key pairs, I saw types of key pairs. So RSC and some other thing. What is that?
Like earlier, also the same question asked by the student also. This is the newly launched option by the AWS. Even I didn't work on that option. I'm not aware of, but where is actually that option is giving.
Okay. Yeah, that's all. Thank you.
Yes, Sheikh. Sheikh, you can unmute yourself to ask your question.
Oh, sorry, I was talking on mute. So
Yes.
as you explained that we can use PPK file or PEM file for connection. Okay. Apart from that, just wanted to understand, can we use the any .cert file or something like that for connection?
Which file?
.cert.
No,
CRT.
we are no. There is
CRT.
no type of file in cloud platform we are using.
Like
PEM file,
sort of,
PPK, or password.
Okay, fine. Thanks.
Okay. Thank you. Yes, Pavan.
Ankit, usually in real time we'll have multiple number of machines, right? So is it possible to same key pair to be tagged with multiple EC2 instances?
I'll the same question asked by previous student also. Pavan, right now, whatever we have learned till now, it is possible. But in our upcoming session, we'll create different type of machine. If you are using the same type of machine, then it is possible. But if you are creating another type of machine, then it is not possible.
I got it.
But what type of I'm talking about, you will understand in upcoming session.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay, because at that time, you can select. While selecting, you will not get any error message. But when you're trying to connect to that particular machine, AWS is giving you some error message.
Good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyone have any more questions? Looks like no one has any more questions. So with this, I'm ending this session today. In today's session, we have discussed about how we can create our Linux machine and how we can connect to our Linux machine. In tomorrow's session, we are going to discuss about some basic of Linux commands, which we require for this particular AWS training also. That will start in the tomorrow session. Yes, Cedric, you can answer.
Yes, I have this question, sir. Why, I mean, when you create a web user, you haven't yet created the IAM user, because you always said that the IAM user is best for connection and create.
IAM user is not something like EC2 user. The one which I was talking about, that is EC2, that the user which I'm going to create in EC2 machine. IAM user is something else. IAM user is help us to connect to our AWS account. And here I was talking about to connect to my EC2 machine.
I understand. I was saying that because usually when you create I mean, we trying to connect to the AWS console. We first create the root user. After that, we create the IAM user, because it must. It's like
you are getting
secure.
confused. You are getting confused. IAM user is different thing. EC2 user is different thing. And which your question you're asking me, it's not possible right now to explain you, because yes, IAM user are completely secure, and that you will understand when we'll come to that particular service.
Okay, I thank you.
Because directly we are just creating, when we are creating a user, by default they don't have any permission. We need to assign the permission as per our client requirement. We need to give them policies so they can work on that particular AWS service. By default, IAM user is having no permission. Okay. Whenever we are going to create IAM user, we'll assign a policy so they can work on that particular AWS service.
All right. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Definitely we'll see those things in upcoming sessions.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Yes, Amir.
Ankit, actually, I have taken your course earlier, 2 months ago, I think 3 months ago. Then I only did like 2 or 3 days of that because I was getting married at that time. So after that, I didn't got chance to do that. So I most of the time I like tried to join, but I didn't do it. So what I can do? Can you tell me?
Drop an email to support team with your payments.
Okay, sure. After that, they'll allow
whatever the details they require, they'll ask for the details and they'll allow you.
Okay, sure. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes, Zaman, you can.
Hi, Ankit. I have a question on my AWS account. When I'm trying to create a EC2 instance, on the right hand, it is showing summary option, right? But I am not having that summary option. So is there any way I can just enable it, or?
No, when you are trying to create an EC2 machine, by default, we are getting the summary option. Might be you have minimized it by using this arrow button.
I don't see on my window here, but I can double check it. Yeah.
You can check that one. Might be you are looking, it look like this to you. Summary, cancel, launch. Might be a minimize it, so you can click on this arrow button, it will show you. And by default, summary option is there. There is no option of to enable or disable the summary option.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so with this, I'm ending this session. In tomorrow's session, we are going to continue with our Linux command stop. Thank you all. Thank you for joining the today's session. See you tomorrow.